Clorand over there? They look like they might have run into some kind of trouble. Let's go check out what's going on!
Still no dice?
Not at all. And I've asked pretty much everyone in the court of Fontaine already. Lynette's ears drooped as soon as she heard that we'd have to be out and about for days on end. And Freminet, he hid himself under his helmet as soon as he realized there'd be people around that he didn't know.
What about Chiori and Charlotte? I feel like both of them would be more than up to it.
I've asked them already, but they're both pretty busy right now. I just gave the members of the Spina a few days off, too, so I don't want to bother them either.
This is getting pretty difficult.
Navia, Clorand, what's up?
Oh my. Well, if it isn't my dear partners. How are you all doing?
Huh. Navia?
Huh? Oh, you mean...
Yep, this is our chance.
Do you need our help with something?
Oh, precisely. My dear partners, we've got a huge problem right now that only you can solve.
Whoa, for real?
Absolutely. We've already exhausted all our other options.
Traveler, Paimon, would you join us and play Marechaussee Hunter Judgment?
Marechaussee what now?
It's a new game script by the Tabletop Troupe, a local roleplay.
Ever heard of the Tabletop Troupe? They put out games that allow you to participate in a story and roleplay characters with...
That sounds super interesting.
Clorand and I are both veteran members of the club. And when they asked, of course...
Generally speaking, scripts at that level of...
Whoa. I know I was the one that handed you the script, but some of us haven't read it yet. No...
Anyway, the script calls for a team of 4. Ah, yes. We're missing one final player right now.
So, you're saying you'll help us out?
Paimon and the Traveler are kind of a...
That's not a problem. I'll adjust the pace based on the actual number of players, and ensure that everyone has a good time.
Well, Traveler, what do you think? Wanna play? Paimon will follow your lead.
Well, that solves our problem. You have our thanks.
Woohoo! I'll go grab the script manager from the club right away.
The script manager?
The club introduced a completely new kind of gameplay for the script. In this iteration, the Game Master's version of the script is incomplete. The script manager provides the next part of the script only after players have completed the... On top of that, in order to increase player immersion, the club has created some of the story's sets and scenes in real life. We'll only know where we should go once the script manager reveals the starting location.
Wow, you're right! Whoever wrote this script really did put in a lot of work.
And it's got a real healthy amount of suspense, right? I mean, even the GM doesn't know how the...
I look forward to experiencing it with you all.
Why don't you go meet up with the others first? They should all be waiting at Chioria Boutique. I'll come over with the script manager as soon as I
Sounds good. Remember to always watch where you're going, and don't...
You say that like I'm 6 years old or something. Let me think. What kind of character should I play this time?
I just hope you'll pick up some useful skills this time. Oh, and stop trying to persuade every animal you come across.
Time to go.
You're back! Huh? And you've got the Traveler and Paimon with you too!
What a pleasant surprise. I assume you'll be joining us for the game then?
Linny, Farina! Paimon didn't know you were were playing too. Are you also members of the tabletop troupe?
I'm more of a casual member, if anything. I haven't taken part in many formal club activities. Lynette, Fremine, and I play something similar at the Hotel Bouffe Tété sometimes, but I'm usually the GM. Still, I'm sure it'll be fun being a player for the first time. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, I'm not a member of the club at all. Claran simply woke me up first thing this morning, said there was a good script worth experiencing, and asked if I wanted in.
If you're interested, I can give you a referral. That should give you a 40% discount on membership fees.
I think I'll wait to see how this experience plays out first, especially when it comes to the quality of the script.
Do you participate in a lot of tabletop troupe activities, Clip?
You could say that. She's actually one of the few senior game masters of the troupe.
Right. I knew about that even when she was still my subordinate.
It's nothing.
Wow. Hyman's so used to seeing you be all upstanding and intimidating as the champion duelist. It's kind of hard to imagine you role-playing with a bunch of friends.
Surely you jest. I would never intentionally make things difficult for I maintain a clear boundary between my professional and personal lives. The me you see at court represents the law and order of Fontaine. I put all personal feelings to the side and grant a fair duel to all who seek to defend their honor. But in my personal life, I'm just an ordinary person. Someone who feels anger and sadness. Just like—
Well, you say that, but for all the time I've known you, I don't think I've ever seen you cry. I've seen you get angry, sure, but now I'm wondering whether you were actually mad or if it just looked that way from the outside.
I was probably in work mode during the—
Is that so? Well, in any case, I just feel like even in your personal life, you don't get—
So you want to see me cry? That might be a little difficult. A show of anger, though. That—
No. I'm back! Here, allow me to introduce you to the script manager, Mr. Florian.
Pleasure to meet you all.
Wait, are you a champion duelist too, Mr.
Oh, no. This is just the costume provided by the club. I occasionally play a few of the—
That sounds like a lot of work.
It's nothing. It's the least we can do to give the players a more immersive experience. Anyway, allow me to give you a brief introduction of the script. This script was adapted from the real history of the Marechaussee Hunters. You all will play the role of hunters from a bygone—
Paimon's not super familiar with the history of the Marechaussee.
Oh, no problem at all. I can give you a brief rundown. So, basically, Marechaussee hunters were people who dedicated themselves to hunting Their story can be traced back to the ancient Remurian but I'll leave the finer details for you to seek out and discover later.
And I'll provide additional commentary as the story progresses.
In that case, brave hunters, are you ready?
Whoa, just one sentence and it's like we're in the story.
Aha! I see many a determined gaze before me.
So, as we follow the story, it leads us to specific scenes? Ooh, sounds pretty innovative. What?
It's the exact location of the scene, as well as the formal permission to use the venue. Seems like they have everything prepared. Please check all your belongings, everyone, and make sure you haven't forgotten anything.
Sounds good. Hunters.
Fallen leaves, adorn my night!
Time to go. Wind strike!
Whoa, they really have thought of everything. Even the Fatometer.
The Fatometer.
It's a card that's used to determine action success or failure. We'll need to use it when we try to use certain skills.
And what about all the dessert and tea? Is that for us as well?
That's what the message said.
Oh, really? That's so nice. It feels just like a tea party with friends.
Those snacks have Paimon's name written all.
I think you might be more of a snack hunter than a Marachose hunter, Paimon.
Snack Hunter Paimon reported for duty. If there are delicious snacks to be found, Paimon will track down every last one.
The desserts are great. But I'm still looking forward to the story more than anything.
Very fair. Then, let us begin. First, please pick up the blank character cards in front of you and write down your name and profession. You can find an abbreviated version of the rules printed on the back of your character card. If you have any questions, in this story, everyone is a Marachose hunter. To reflect this, the club has prepared a small
Ooh, nice.
As hunters, you have proficiency in swordsmanship and fighting by default, so there's no need to allocate any additional
Swordsmanship? So there's a fighting part to all of this? Paimon's not sure.
Why don't you share a character card then? The Traveler will be the Marachose hunter, and you can be...
So, for the name, do I fill it out with the name of my character?
Yep. It can...
You can use your real name too if you want. I do that whenever I get too lazy to think.
Oh, so it would be like experiencing a
In that case, I think I'll continue to use the name Linny then.
Next up is the skill sheet. You have a limited amount of skill points that you can use to learn a number of skills. The more points you invest in a particular...
I'll take persuasion and investigation.
Oh, those skills sound like they'd be useful for...
So, should...
Not necessarily. Since we're working together as a team, we could leave the negotiations to Navia and use our skill points to pick up other useful skills. For example, I think I'll take stealth and sleight of hand. That will give us more options if we run into any situation.
Oh, interesting. I wasn't thinking about it like that. I suppose it's not so... Let me see. I'll take arts and performance. I'm not quite sure what use they'll be.
Well, that leaves us. What do you want to learn, Traveler? Oh, something that'll help you get a read on other people. So what do you think? Are you sure you want to learn these 2 skills? Sure, what do you want to learn? Oh, something that'll help you get a read on other people's thoughts. Ooh, so what do you think? Are you sure you want to learn these?
Let's see.
You've all picked such classic skills.
Why do I get the feeling she's getting ready to cause trouble?
For example, this one here.
Oh, I saw that one just now as well. The description says, this skill can be used under certain circumstances to
The script's world-building rules, huh?
Oh, that's not for us to worry about, my friend.
All right, you've convinced Paimon. Let's learn Summon then. Paimon can't wait to see what kind of...
Well, now that everyone's more or less finished, since 2 of our players are doing this for the first time though, Let me ask. Would you like to play on easy mode or...
What's the difference?
Well, in role-playing games, the story sometimes changes. For example, if you fail a check, that means you cannot use the target skill in that scenario. If you choose to play in authentic mode, every time you elect to use a skill, you'll need to use the Fatometer to see whether you succeed or fail. If you choose
Huh? Oh, come on. Don't worry about that. RNG is the lifeblood of role, never knowing what you might have to overcome.
I'd rather be...
All right, then I'll mark down Farina for easy mode. All her checks will be successful, but...
What about you, dear partner? How would you like to play?
Are you sure?
Trust me, honestly, I don't think Clorand would make things too difficult for us, no matter what the Fatom...
No promise.
That wasn't...
Well, anyway, enough talk. Let's get started. I want to experience at least...
Speaking of the story, why is the beginning scene on a beach?
Well, that's because a long time ago, back when human civilization was still in its infancy, powerful demons and evil sorcerers ruled over the land. They created a host of monsters and sent them to... Soon, a group of human rebels banded together. With their swords raised, they swore to brave the darkness, and in doing so, subdue each and every... Sometime later, as a member of the Marechaussee Hunters, you receive a commission. Following the address provided on the message, as you inhale, you can taste the slightly salty air of the docks as you begin to survey your surroundings. There aren't many people in the vicinity, but you do take note of your eyes meet. And you realize these people are fellow Marechaussee Hunters.
You're all Marechaussee Hunters too, right? Allow me to introduce myself. The name's Navia, monster hunter by trade and helpful neighborhood businesswoman on the side. What say you to traveling together? We can help each other out on the road.
Okay, count me in. My name is Linny. I've been wandering since I was little and picked up a few less than legal tricks along the way. I was adopted by a Marechaussee Hunter and later chose to follow in his footsteps.
Is this where you introduce your character to everyone? It sounds like they've done this dozens of times. My name is Farina, and, I grew up in a noble family. I always had a strong interest in performance and the arts. Even though I'm a Marechaussee Hunter, what I really want is to be a performing artiste.
Hey, that's really cool. You can do it, Farina. That's exactly how it's done.
Paimon is Paimon, a good friend and companion to this Marechaussee Hunter right here.
I've been studying medicine ever since I was a child. I want to do my part to eradicate these monsters and use what I've learned to heal others.
Oh, welcome, welcome. When we face the monsters, I'll make sure to charge in front to give everyone some cover. You can take care of the healing at the back.
You open your envelopes at the same time. The message reads, "To the honorable and trustworthy Marechaussee Hunters, our kingdom is the lands outside the capital have been overtaken by monsters, and our people are being led astray by forces of wickedness."
The layout of this city looks...
The scriptwriter must have used a real-world city as a reference when coming up with the map.
As experienced hunters, the layout of the city reminds you of places once traveled. You recall the sight of tree-lined streets and the gentle tranquility. Yet, as you regard the city in front of you, it appears to be little more than an empty shell. Its hollow gates are open to you, beckoning you to come forth and bring salvation back to the town.
I carefully read every line of the letter and turn my attention to the signatures at the bottom.
You see a long string of unfamiliar names. It would seem that many of the residents of the city issued this commission together. They sensed that things were...
In that case, why don't we take a walk around the city and...
Oh, good idea. We might be able to get some leads on the monsters.
You look up and see a tavern nearby. It appears to be open for the day.
Why don't we go check out that tavern? If the novels I've read are anything to go by, taverns...
As you approach the tavern, you find a plainly dressed woman standing nearby. She appears to be rather troubled about something.
Greetings, friend. Lovely weather we're having today, don't you think?
Oh, hello. I suppose you're right. The weather today is quite lovely. If only those monsters out...
It seems like every character included in the script has a certain amount of useful information to offer. If we keep...
Oh, come now, don't be sad. Life is all about optimism. Oh, that reminds me.
I don't think that's the kind of question where...
Nothing turns a frown upside down like good food. How about some
You didn't even take cooking as one of your skill proficiencies.
That's not necessary, miss. Excuse me for saying this, but you don't really look like a chef.
So you're someone who barely smiles and doesn't like sweets. You're really... Hey! Did she just... Me?
Glorian must have broke character for a second.
This isn't getting us anywhere. Traveler, maybe you...
The results of insight checks aren't disclosed to the players, so I'll be the one consulting the fatometer. You recall all the lessons you've learned in your time and begin to carefully observe the woman. You notice that when she's quiet, she has an empty look in her eyes, as if her thoughts have drifted to a place far, far away. And when she speaks, she often subconsciously reaches out to touch the ring on her left hand. So you noticed. That's a little embarrassing. A horde of monsters suddenly appeared near the capital recently, so all the guards were dispatched to fight them.
Do you remember when those monsters appeared?
I'm not completely sure. All I know is that my husband was
Do you know where he was?
It all happened so fast. When we said our goodbyes, he couldn't even...
You have our thanks, friend. We'll find and defeat those monsters as soon as possible. We sincerely...
Thank you.
Don't worry. We'll find him. Just try. We don't always get to choose what happens to us. But we do get to choose the little things, like what we eat and how we respond to the things life throws our way. I hope that what...
I'll do my best. You bid farewell to the woman and continue your journey further into the city. As you venture further into the city, the streets appear largely empty. An elderly woman walks past. You see her shake her head as she puts away her wrinkled wallet. A nearby merchant folds his arms and gives you a disdainful look. You get the impression that he's someone who has long gotten used to the sight before him.
Although he doesn't seem very friendly, merchants are usually a good source of information, right?
Pardon me, sir. I'd like to ask a question.
That depends. How much are you willing to pay?
How about this much?
What do you take me for? Some lowly beggar? You can't even buy half an onion with that.
Surely an onion can't be that expensive.
What do you know? War's nearly upon us. Everything costs several times what it did before. If you're not gonna buy anything...
Whoa, what a nasty guy. Maybe we shouldn't even bother talking to him.
But he still might have information we need. Traveler, can you think of something? Sir, we came to this city to solve the very problem you seem to be referring to. The war you mentioned, would it... If you happen to be well informed and know a thing or two about what's going on, we'd appreciate it if you could share that information with us. After all, the sooner this problem gets resolved, the...
Well, things are basically as you said, young lady. Those monsters are camped outside the city, and they've been destroying all our trade routes. We have limited reserves within the city, so if this continues, we're all gonna be in big trouble.
Wait, you're saying no one has put a plan in place to distribute supplies?
We could all starve, and those nobles in the palace wouldn't even break a sweat. Who knows? Maybe they've been in cahoots with the monsters all along.
That is concerning.
All right. That's all the information you need, right? Off with you now. I've still got...
You know, if you smiled a little more, you'd definitely get more business. And I bet that would make your life just a little bit sweeter.
Should we try to go somewhere with more people?
Oh, how about the city square? Follow me!
Before you lies the city's central square. You see a man with a slightly anxious look on his face, pacing back and forth, his head hanging low. He doesn't seem to notice your approach. Still immersed in his own thoughts, he shakes...
This guy seems promising enough. Maybe... Hello, sir. Is there anything...
Oh, wait, you're... Oh, dear goodness, you're...
You recognize us? Ah, are you one of the people?
Yes! Oh, I didn't expect you to actually come.
What happened here?
Alas, we once lived comfortable, carefree lives. This city used to be free of monsters. The first Marachose hunter, Casiodor, However, monsters have once again surrounded the city. Perhaps the seal that kept them at bay has lost its power. Or perhaps an evil sorcerer has been meddling in our affairs. All I know for sure...
Are there not enough soldiers to drive them out?
It's not a question of numbers. The guards simply have no idea how to deal with them. Most people my age have never even seen one of the monsters, much less been trained to fight against them. What's worse, many of us don't even know the history of the Marachose hunters anymore. When I was a child, though, my grandfather would tell me stories about how the Marachose hunters drove back the monsters. So, on the off chance that something might come of it, I decided to reach out to you. To be perfectly honest, I was starting to think all those stories were just tall tales. But now that I've seen you in person,
Well, you can rest easy, friend. The righteous and formidable Marachose hunters are on the case.
The man is touched by your determination and resolve. His eyes...
Still, if we are going to hunt the monsters, we need to know where to find them. Can you give us any leads?
All I know is that the area outside the city is dangerous. I'm afraid I can't point you toward a specific location. Oh, although, if you leave the capital through the main gate and follow the road, you should run into a group...
I see.
All right, be careful. Oh, they're actively working with the monsters, and have corrupted the court ministers with malicious Even one of our kindest ministers has turned into a boorish and unreasonable figure, interested in nothing but enacting laws that exploit the people. Who knows how much longer we'll be able to go on like this.
Talk about being stuck between a rock and a hard place.
I feel bad for him. Maybe we should try to cheer him up?
Like, now? Is this really the right time?
I appreciate your kindness, brave hunters. I leave...
I understood correctly. There are currently 2 problems in the...
Exactly. We need to defeat the monsters outside the city.
But
Well,
I really didn't expect the people in the city to keep us at arm's length like that. I totally thought the hunters would be treated like heroes.
Well, Clarence said the script took cues from the real history of Fontaine, right? Maybe the real-life Marachose hunters were also treated like that.
I wouldn't say it's a perfect representation of history, but there are definitely some similarities. Would you like to hear?
sure. As long as it doesn't spoil anything in the script. You've brought up bits and pieces of the hunters' history before, but...
Paimon wants to know too! The hunters were super powerful, right? Were they all from a special line of supernatural beings or something? Kinda like the yokai in Inazuma?
No. All Marachose hunters were ordinary mortal fighters. The only thing that set them apart were the special sword
Huh? So you mean anyone could become a Marachose hunter?
In theory, yes. All you would need to do is survive the rigorous training and master the swordsmanship techniques. Still, most people dropped out at the early stages, and others called it quits the minute they saw a monster in person. To become a hunter, you must be strong in both body and mind.
What kind of monsters did the hunters fight exactly? Oh, and the evil sorcerer the script mentions. Did they exist in real life too?
The land of Fontaine once played host to an ancient dynasty known as Remuria. After that dynasty fell, monsters began to appear. Intent on one of the ancient sorcerers of Remuria used his power to assemble a formidable army of golems. He sought to
now wait a second. Don't tell me that guy was the inspiration for the evil sorcerer in the script. We still haven't found any...
Well, I wasn't planning on going into anything you might be able to find out in the game. But if you want me to talk about something else, then... How about Casiodor, the Golden Hunter? Or Egeria, the ex-Hydro Archon?
Wait, but those people are all from a super long time ago.
From my master.
By master?
Someone you know?
Absolutely. Miss Petronia and my father were good friends. Back in the day, she would often bring Clorand over to play, but...
Let's not get off topic. Anyway, back to what I was saying. Responding to Egeria's call, a number of warriors followed Casiodor into battle against the monsters. This group of warriors, under Casiodor's leadership, became known yet, as Fontaine entered an era of peace, their work gradually became obsolete. The Marachose Phantom, originally an association made up of hunters, eventually came to be predominantly comprised of Melusines.
Ah, I see. That explains why most of the people in the script have forgotten the hunters or think of them as nothing more than a legend.
Is that really a bad thing, though? It can get tough always being the one...
Depends on who you ask, I suppose. If the name of the organization no longer commands respect...
Speaking of investigations, which problem should we tackle first? Monsters or evil sorcerer?
I vote monsters. That's the main duty of the hunters, right? We can come back to the sorcerer later.
Well said, Miss Farina. Plus, if the sorcerers really are the masterminds behind this whole thing, defeating the monsters could give us some clues on their intentions as well.
What about you, partner? What do you think? It's decided.
All right. After some discussion.
Let's take a look around, like that guy said.
You there! Outsiders, halt!
Who's there?
An armored man approaches you. He has a tall, muscular build and a determined expression in his eyes. Just one look, and you can tell he's fought in his... Although he's trying his best to conceal his current state, his uneven gait and the sweat dripping down his forehead. I'm the captain of the guard. I saw you sneaking around the city earlier, so I'll state your purpose, or it's off to the dungeons for the lot of you.
Wow, it's been a while since someone's been this suspicious of us.
I said talk, not whisper between your...
Have you ever
Marachose hunters? Ha! That fairy tale, you mean? What, do you expect me to believe you're one of them? With some suspicion, the captain allows you to survey his condition after... Unfortunately, you're unable to adequately assess the source of his injury.
I'm sorry. My skills are a little...
Well, this is no ordinary wound. It was inflicted by a monster. Now tell me, he regards you with suspicion for quite some time before shaking his head.
Sir, we were indeed in the city earlier, but our purpose was only to gather information on the monster. Your guards are still fighting the monsters as we speak. They could be seriously wounded and in grave need of support. You need all the help you can get.
The man regards you with doubt and concern. After a period of inner struggle, he lets out a long sigh. Some of our new recruits have never even dealt with a petty thief, and now they're out there fighting monsters.
Oh, please, sir. Don't get too worked up. You need to focus on your recovery. Just leave the monsters to us.
Hearing you say that, a glimmer of hope flashes in his eyes. Those monsters aren't easy to deal with, but if you insist on going, I won't stop you either. I just hope all the guards will be able to come back to their families alive. I wish you the best of luck.
Based on what the captain said, the monster should be right up ahead. Let's go. Hopefully we're not too late.
As you approach the battlefield, you see numerous people lying by the side of the road. They appear to be dressed like guards. Their faces are filled with desperation and terror. Some are screaming and cursing in vain, as if still trying to banish the monstrosities they saw from their minds.
Go!
shower me with praise?
A few of the wounded look up at you in shock and disbelief. Quick, leave this place. Turn around and don't look back, they yell.
This is the place he mentioned.
You see broken iron swords scattered all around you. All the signs point to one thing. A truly devastating battle just...
Be on your guard, everyone. The monsters...
Before you can finish your sentence, you hear rustling sounds from the surrounding bushes. The monsters have emerged. They close in on...
A little help here! This thing...
Your battle round begins. The next battle round begins now.
Let the world collide!
Step right up.
Hey there! A proper send-off from Messina with love.
The monsters let out a terrifying roar of anger and resentment before dissipating into thin air.
Thank goodness it's over.
We're lucky the Marachose Hunter class came with all those preset skill points. Otherwise, we would have been in some real trouble.
I never knew the Fatometer even determines the amount of damage you inflict. If you get unlucky, isn't it just game over right then and there?
That's part of the fun. The uncertainty of fate is what gives these games their appeal.
Just as you begin to celebrate your victory, a suspicious lump on the ground catches your attention.
A suspicious...
I walk up to it, crouch down, and begin to carefully examine it. I've still got my right glove on, so it should be fine for me to touch it, right?
As you investigate the mound, with the monsters gone, the small protrusion now awaits your discovery.
Whoa, it's a treasure chest!
With everyone's help, even without opening it, you can tell from the mora and jewels scattered around the chest that it must...
Makes sense. We worked hard for this. Let's open it and we can share what's inside.
I can understand your excitement, Paimon, but think about it. Doesn't it seem like there are people out there who need this treasure more than us?
Yeah. Think about all the people suffering in the capital. Or all those guards who got hurt fighting the monster.
Wait, is that how it works? Paimon thought since we were the ones to dig it up.
Well, let's put it this way. Any decision you make during a role-playing game...
But would the people really believe us? It's hard enough for us to prove we're Marachose Hunters. What if...
That's definitely something we should consider. Maybe we can come up with an explanation in advance.
Well, if donating it could cause that much trouble, why don't we use it to...
Looks like you're facing a difficult choice once again. Well, it's getting late. Why don't we call it a day for now?
Wow!
I'm not sure if it's because I'm having so much fun with you all or because the story is particularly enticing, but I feel like I could almost keep going.
Here, here! Ooh, how about we play...
Yeah, that won't work for me either. Lynette will give me an earful if I get home too late.
I understand how you feel, Navia, but we have to change venues for the next part of this.
Huh? Another...
There's a special note for the GM at the end of this section that says to proceed to an...
Whoa! They really pulled out all the stops.
Well, even if we end the game for the day, we can still stay a little longer and hear Clorian finish her story, right? Paimon wants to...
Something tells me you just want to finish the free desserts before...
That's just a coincidence, okay? Besides, to Paimon, not finishing free food feels even worse than having to buy her... And anyway, Paimon really does want to hear more about Clorian's map.
Well...
It's nothing. I appreciate the concern, but it's all in the past. It won't... My earliest memories are of living with Master. According to her, she saved me from certain people of ill repute. My birth parents had left me behind some...
What a heavy beginning.
Master was a fascinating individual. If inexperienced in the ways of raising... My first ever toy was a short sword. Although I suppose it wasn't so much a toy as something Master removed from her waist and handed to a noisy child in need of distraction.
Oh wait, so she handed an actual sword to a child? Isn't that dangerous?
Of course I did. I cut my palm and bled quite a lot. But Master was not concerned. She just stood there. See, that's what you get for not holding the sword properly, she told me. She then crouched down next to me and said, "Give me your hand. I'll teach you to bandage this wound."
Excuse me for asking this, Clorinde, but
Probably around, 3.
3? Isn't that when most kids are still struggling to hold a fork?
As I said, Master was rather inexperienced in the ways of raising children. She believed trial and error was the best way to teach a child what they're capable.
I'm not so sure this is a question.
I didn't see anything wrong with her ways at the time. And anyway, children don't get to choose how they're raised. Oh, she did bring me back a pet from Liyue once. It was a Geovishap hatchling.
A Geovishap hatchling? For a pet? That seems even more dangerous.
What she said was this: make sure to get along, you two. If you really can't agree on something, just settle it with a fight. Whoever loses is the real pet.
And how old were you when...
5.
Well,
No, I lost.
So you're saying you actually became the
Yes, but only for a week. By the end of that week, I defeated it in combat. And we've shared a cordial relationship ever since.
that really doesn't sound like the kind of childhood someone should have.
Later on, I gradually understood that Master most likely didn't know any other way to raise a child. She was a Marachose hunter, but I never heard her bring up. Thanks to her, I learned how to navigate the forest by the age of 6, and could hunt monsters in the wild by myself the year. Even though the training she subjected me to was strict, she always made sure to take me traveling when she had the time. We met many of her friends during those days.
I still remember the first time we met. You were too scared to join our picnic and hid behind...
I still hadn't really met many children my age at that time.
After that, though, you started coming over a lot. You loved challenging people to shooting competitions, remember? I don't think many members of...
I had a lot of fun during...
I enjoyed them too. Oh, do you remember that one time we went exploring around the Spina together? We overheard Papa call your master. We tried to pretend like we never heard anything, but you nearly let it slip that one time.
Protector of justice. Oh, wait, you mean that vigilante hero from 20 years ago?
Yep, that would be her. She often would put on a black cloak and go out at night. I never knew where she went or what she was doing. Until, like Navia said, we overheard the truth from Mr.
20 years ago, huh? I still remember the guards leaving all kinds of witness reports about... Oh, there's no need to apologize. You had nothing to do with it. And although calling herself the Protector of Order was a bit much, especially when she...
Huh? When did the Protector of Justice become the Protector of Order?
Oh, she had a bunch of code names. I heard she would just come up with a name on the spot whenever she... Later on, she probably got sick of answering those questions and decided to stick to just 2.
That sounds like her, all right. I bet she forgot which of the 2 she'd use by the time she got back each night.
Well, she certainly sounds like a fascinating individual, with her strong sense of justice.
It's true. I always wanted to become like her. Someone powerful, independent, and with a...
But...
She suddenly disappeared the night I turned 10 years...
Disappeared? What?
I have no idea. She didn't even leave a note. That night, I was celebrating my birthday at Navia's house. But Master never came to pick me up. When she still didn't appear after a few days, I went to Mr. Callus's house to ask about her whereabouts.
Papa probably didn't know either. I know he sent a few people to investigate the matter in secret, but...
Don't worry, I understand. To be perfectly honest, given Master's personality and way of doing things, it all made a lot of sense. If I had to guess, I'd just like how, when a litter of kittens reaches a certain age, the mother...
Were you...
I was at first, but not anymore. I don't believe Master would suddenly disappear.
Well, despite everything, you still managed to follow in her footsteps and become the greatest champion duelist in...
I suspect my position would be far too by the books for her. Master...
Who knew Clorinde had such an interesting past? I never had the chance to act. I wonder... if Clorinde's master were the champion duelist back then... Oh no... Judging by the atmosphere, Clorinde and Navia are probably thinking something similar. The mood just got super awkward.
Well, anyway. Would you look at the time? It's getting dark, so we should probably call it a day for real this time. If we keep talking like this.
I had a great time today, Miss Clorinde.
Anytime.
The script was good, but I've got to say, hey, you should tell us more about that fight against the Geovishop sometime. Maybe.
You could be right.
What does she mean, onto something? I certainly don't know any 5-year-olds who want to fight a bishop in their spare time. Guess I'll head back as well. I need to save my energy if I want to.
You're that excited to hear about my fight with the bishop?
I was talking about the script.
Settle down!
Just between the two of us.
It was nothing special, really. Geovishops don't understand the concept of a pet. So basically, it just headbutted me whenever I entered its
And that.
Yeah, it hurt. What, something you want to experience for your—
Oh, I'm good.
Let's go meet up with the group! Paimon's really looking forward to...
Looks like everyone's here. Now, before we begin, why don't we finish where we left off yesterday? There was an important decision to be made, yes? I'll pour everyone a cup of tea.
Is that really the most important part, though, Clorinde? Paimon's more concerned about our current surroundings. Heavy walls, cold railings, dim lights. This is obviously supposed to be a prison.
I admire the work put into the set. Still, it's obvious the scriptwriter has never paid a visit to the fortress of Meripede.
So the set is going to be a part of this.
Unfortunately, that is something I can neither confirm.
Anyone think Cloran's smile is starting to look kinda scared?
Well, whatever happens, we'll just have to push on. But first, we should really figure out what to do with this treasure. If we're worried about arousing suspicion because of our identity, why don't we give ourselves a different name, just like Cloran's master did?
Yeah, it might be better to keep a low profile. As long as we're helping people, it doesn't matter who we are or what we're called.
Staring at me won't get you anywhere. Or did you want some more?
Paimon's good. Thanks. Why aren't you saying anything, Navia? Wait, what's that next to you?
Oh, this is the short sword Cloran mentioned last night. I found it.
Huh. I'm surprised you managed to track it down after all this time.
Well, I made sure to take good care of it, considering the circumstances in which you gave it to me. Of course I had to keep it safe. Anyway, where were we? Oh, right. I was just thinking about all the potential ways for us to break out of prison. We could dig a tunnel, or try to bribe the guards.
Wait, we haven't been thrown into prison yet, have we?
Well, it's only a matter of time. It pays to be prepared. Just like how you should always have an umbrella on hand, even when it's sunny.
Alright, Paimon's made up her mind. Let's just give the treasure away. Paimon may have wanted to keep it, but if it's going to land us in prison somehow, Paimon will be too upset to enjoy her snacks.
So, you reached an agreement? All right then, we can continue with the story.
Oh, and we'll collect all the scattered pieces of treasure on the ground as well.
All right. You collect the treasure and make your way back to the capital with your bag of loot in hand. The city is still shrouded in a gloomy, oppressive atmosphere, but your spirits are surprisingly high. In places where sunlight struggles to reach, you generously share your wealth with the children, the elderly, and the poor in urgent need of help.
Thank you, kind soul.
The elderly woman's look of gratitude follows you as you walk away, her eyes never leaving your back until you move entirely out of sight. However,
She's probably trying to tell us to speed this up. We need to hurry up so we can address.
Should we go find that man again at the square? He seemed like a pretty responsible guy.
Oh, good idea!
just as you start to make way to the square,
Please wait, distinguished guests.
several strange guards suddenly call out to you. They run forward to meet you and proceed to
Greetings, gentlemen. Are we being invited for—
Surely you jest, my lady. That would not be our place. It is His Excellency the King who requests to meet with you. Well, we have to investigate the court at some point, right? Meeting the king himself would—
I say we go for it. If something happens—
After a quick discussion, you nod to the guards and agree. Gilded tables line both sides of the hall. The space itself is adorned with all manner of expensive antiques.
Wow, it's so...
The elderly king, clad in a magnificent robe, sits. He wears above his head a majestic crown, with a gemstone the size of a bird's egg set right at the very front.
They're here, Your Majesty.
A man dressed in dark clothes, likely a minister, shields his mouth with his hands. After a moment, he lowers his hands and stands back up. His gaze shifts to
The king does not appear entirely aware of his surroundings. The man by his side, though.
The king remains still and says nothing. Esteemed guests, allow me to thank you for coming to our faraway kingdom. Unfortunately, His Majesty the King finds himself. I've heard tell that your group, the Marechaussee Hunters, used your exceptional ability with the sword to repel the monsters near the capital. However, seeing that I was not fortunate enough to observe such a feat with my own eyes, you'll forgive me for seeking to.
Well, we've got nothing to hide. You brought us here to talk, right? The golem's blades were so powerful, they could cut down trees in a single swipe. It took well, there was enough details, right?
Your account does indeed match those of the survivors. Since you were the ones who defeated the monsters, that must make.
Well, we did take the treasure.
How did he know about the treasure?
Then I must ask that you return it.
Wait, but didn't you just say that our great deed deserved a reward? Shouldn't the treasure be
Yes, that was indeed what I said. But you seem to have forgotten a very important. Only that which is freely given by the king can be considered a reward. Taking the rightful wealth of a kingdom without said permission, on the other hand.
But that's completely unreasonable.
Yeah, that makes no sense. If it weren't for us, the treasure would still be buried in.
Maybe so, yet the fact remains. You tried to dispose of the treasure without reporting it to the court and without receiving. What? No answer? Surely you're not insinuating that you, a group of legendary Marish.
Well, what about the king? Is he just gonna let this go?
Clad in his magnificent robe, the king remains seated, with his hands resting on either side of the throne. His posture is rigid and unmoving. He stares forward with an empty look in his eyes.
From the look of things, could the Prime Minister be the evil?
I would like to observe the number of guards stationed.
The guards in the palace appear fully armed, their expressions solemn. Sensing the tense atmosphere in the room, they stand at the ready, each with a hand placed upon the hilt of their sword, as if prepared to draw their.
There goes my plan to turn the whole place upside down.
It appears we've been visited by nothing more than a group of ill-intentioned imposters. Before I decide your fate, however, I must first determine what.
Can't we try to slip away? Or maybe.
But if we try to fight the guard.
Don't worry. At least we figured out who's behind.
Thanks.
You allow your. It's only when you begin to feel drops of water falling from the dungeon ceiling and smell the stench. Stay here and don't. The guards lock the cell door and leave without looking.
Wait, sir!
Your voice echoes through the dark hall, but the only response you receive.
No!
Carve out a new path of fate with our own two hands of.
You reach toward your waist, but find nothing there. You now recall that your weapons were confiscated before the guards locked you in the cell.
What about that knife?
When did you hide it in there?
When I was thinking about digging a tunnel.
Rejected. You failed to inform the GM of this course of action. Moreover, the guards would have conducted a thorough search before throwing you in prison.
And the keys to the cell aren't anywhere to be seen?
Correct. You don't even feel a lock hole on the cell.
Well,
Indeed.
Huh? Why are you the one saying indeed?
Because that statement holds true for me as well.
What? That doesn't.
Generally speaking, this should be the point where the scriptwriter gives the players some kind of hint.
I mean, maybe they just really wanted us to be immersed in the feeling of being in prison.
That is.
If only there were desserts and tea in real prison. Oh, wait, guess that's kind of how the Fortress of Meripede works if you're lucky.
oh, before I forget, Navia, the short sword you had with you earlier. I took a closer look, and the craftsmanship doesn't appear to resemble anything from this era. If I remember correctly.
Wait, Cloran said that sword used to belong to her master, right?
I doubt it. The way she went about things often made her seem childish more than anything. I'd say the sword was most likely an heirloom passed down over.
Hang on. A precious heirloom passed down to you by your master. And you gave it to me just like that?
Master left many things to me when she disappeared. There was the sword, an old key, and a good amount of junk she probably just didn't. I gave you the sword back then, because I didn't.
Wait, When did this happen exactly?
After the duel.
Before that, Clorinde would have meals with us and even stay over at the Spina some days. She was on great after the duel, though. There was a period of time where we simply didn't know how to face each other. She entrusted this sword to me. We were both sad and conflicted. Whenever I looked at this sword, I couldn't help but wonder if Miss Petronia had never introduced us to each other at that picnic. Maybe back then, it felt like I hadn't just lost a father.
No one can change the past. The most important thing is that you two found your way back to each other and can enjoy.
Yep, you're right.
I'm sorry, you two. I didn't
Think nothing of it.
Looks like the next part of our script is here.
Perfect timing. The situation was really starting to get desperate. And not just because of the prison thing.
From Corinne's face, Paimon really can't tell if it's good news or bad news.
Water continues to drip from the ceiling. In this lightless dungeon, you lack a reliable way to tell how much time has passed. Eventually, you get used to the unpleasant odor of straw, mold, and rust, and find yourselves alternating between fits of drowsiness and despair. Suddenly, you hear footsteps outside the door.
Heads up, everyone. Someone's coming.
Gather close, everyone, and keep your voice down.
Water comes in many flavors to the discerning palate. Mondstadt's water is crisp and pure, while water from Liyue has an enduring aftertaste. In Inazuma, the water possesses a depth of flavor unlike any other. Sumeru's water, meanwhile, has a rich and complex flavor profile, but it must be savored patiently to fully appreciate it. I see the value in my own work, but I also see the meaning in all the endeavors of the people of Fontaine. I believe I will continue to take pride in fulfilling my duties. Water comes in many flavors to the discerning palate. Mondstadt's water is crisp and pure, while water from Liyue has an enduring aftertaste. In Inazuma, the water possesses a depth of flavor unlike any other. Sumeru's water, meanwhile, has a rich and complex flavor profile, but it must be savored patiently to fully appreciate it. I see the value in my own work, but I also see the meaning in all the endeavors of the people of Fontaine. I believe I will continue to take pride in fulfilling my duties.
Who are you?
I work as a guard in these dungeons, but my true identity is the same as your own.
Huh?
Shh! I've already sent away the other guards.
I understand, but how can we be
The king has issued a formal decree. In light of the irrefutable proof of your crime, you're to be executed before tomorrow's sunrise.
Executed?
monsters appearing at the same location as the treasure?
There will be time for speculation once we're out of here. As for my identity, I have no way to prove that to you. Infiltrating the capital was difficult, and finding a chance to speak with you has taken a lot out of me. I could go on, but I think we can all agree that now is not—
Have you seen our weapons anywhere?
Don't worry, I brought them with me. They're just behind the door. Still, these weapons alone won't be enough to defeat the true enemy behind. His faction is too powerful. The guards are all under his control, and he's even stationed a number of golems and to defeat him. You must find a secret vault. It is said that within that vault, the Marechaussee Hunter—
You're not coming with us?
No, I'll remain in the dungeons to deal with the guards. I'll try my best to as long as my identity is not revealed, I'll be—
In that case, please stay safe.
Thank you for your concern. I will do my utmost. As for the location of the vault, here.
Got it.
All right, once I open the door, remember to stick close and refrain. You now have the chance to restore the honor and legacy of the Marechaussee Hunt, and be sure to exercise caution.
With the help of the guard, you successfully escape the dungeon.
Wait, we didn't get to use our skills at all while we were in prison. Who knows when we're gonna get the chance to use that cool summon spell?
That is a pity, but we can only continue to move forward.
Settle down!
One with nature.
Stabilize! Silence!
This should be the place marked on.
This bit of rock certainly.
Well, I'd say an
Wow.
Before you lies a serene stretch of open.
Well, guess this.
What's the matter?
It's nothing. As you step into the cave, you find yourself in an
Wow, this must be what.
But this door is blocked.
Huh. What have we got down here?
a pattern on a stone door.
Is something wrong?
After a long, difficult journey, you find your surroundings are exceedingly quiet and serene, as if the secret that slumbers here has never once been disturbed. If you listen
That description makes Paimon.
We're doing this for the sake of the people, to free them from the evil sorcerer.
Linny's right. We need to keep going. The next part of the story requires.
Yes, that. Something feels off about all this.
I found something!
Found something here, too.
Same here!
Bow your head.
Something just appeared.
By solving the puzzles, you prove yourselves at the end of each puzzle
With?
a key.
Oh, it must be the key to the big door.
This is one of the Marechaussee Hunter keys that are passed down from generation. It is said that 4 keys in total are required to form the final, complete key. Huh? You hear a few strange noises. Sudden...
What's going on?
For the sake of immersion, please close your eyes, everyone.
But Paimon can still see a little bit over here. Oh, right. Sorry.
Suddenly,
There's someone else here?
Wait,
you recognize the voice as belonging to the guard who led you to this place. It appears he now covets the treasure for himself.
Oh, so this is just part of the script. Well, if we can't see anything, that means we can't...
Judging by the way he's holding his sword, he must be a real Marechaussee Hunter. But
Retreat! That's not the hunter way.
your choice is noted. Please keep your eyes closed.
You got it!
Well then,
I'd like to try to hit him with my sword.
your strike is successful.
Is he still standing? Goodness,
is it over? Can we open...
The enemy is strong and relentless, but the battle is...
What about now?
Final strike! Ha!
well, did...
Warm fire flickers across the walls once more. Your vision is now clear. In an impressive display of courage, the 4 of you, that look in his eyes. It's like he became an entirely different person as...
Huh? Oh, wait. We're supposed to be role-playing. Speak your name, guard. Is this treasure really more important to you than bringing...
What kingdom? What I, Florian, am a true Marechaussee.
So he's also using his real name. Or, wait, was that the...
Then I'm even more confused. If you truly are a Marechaussee Hunter, shouldn't you want to help us?
What do you know? In this day and age, there's no glory to be had as...
What's that supposed to mean?
My skills were passed down to me by my father. We lived a life of obscurity in the remote wilderness, and what did he get in return? A life of poverty and pain. In a world that forgot the Marechaussee Hunters were the ones who saved this city. We're heroes! We deserved more recognition.
Is he talking about how no one in the capital seems to remember the hunters and their legacy?
So that's why you want to take the treasure for yourself?
If you already knew where the treasure was located, why didn't you just come down here and take it?
Because I still needed the final key.
Only a true Marechaussee Hunter is capable of passing through this fight as someone who sought to hurt others for his own gain. Florian lost that right long ago.
Okay, but what is this treasure anyway?
You're sure you want...
We've been talking about it for so long, of course we...
And we've already defeated Florian, right? So he won't...
Watch yourself.
Then let's open the door together.
All right. You're... Before you, the door to the treasure, you hear the shrill wail of the door hinge as it rotates for the first time after years of disuse. Almost like a sleeping giant letting out...
It's open! Come on, let's go in! Paimon wants to see what's inside!
Ooh, me too!
Ugh, uncovering hidden treasure is the most exciting part of adventuring.
A stone tablet? And some
You call this a treasure vault? Looks more like...
Maybe the troop ran out of budget at the...
They provided a super immersive experience at the beginning only to drop the ball at the most important part? They could have at least filled this place with cardboard mora or something!
Wait, I get it now. Paimon, this is the real Marechaussee Hunter treasure.
Huh?
This is it? the Marashose Hunter treasure is just a stone slab and some broken swords? I can't believe it. I refuse to believe it!
Whoa, are you?
The Marashose hunter before you appears to suffer a serious mental breakdown. One of you seems to understand the significance of the treasure already. If the rest of you wish to follow suit,
What is the treasure? The old and broken.
ready! So, how are you doing?
What?
Do you remember how you got here?
I remember now. I brought you here because I wanted to... The explosives in the cave!
You mean these?
Huh? How did you...
I could tell something was off the moment I stepped into this cave, so I kept an eye out.
So the strongest champion duelist in all of Fontaine saved the day once again. Guess I shouldn't...
I deserve some answers, don't you think? Everything you said earlier sounded like the truth. Luckily, your monologue was dramatic enough to convince my friends you were just role-playing.
I don't know. I just always felt like there was something in my heart that didn't belong to me. Something agitated and angry. The feelings about my father and the other Marashose hunters are real. It just wasn't fair. I was angry, bitter that no one remembered them. I don't know when it started, but at some point, my anger came to completely consume me.
But if the treasure was all you cared about, why plant all those explosives? Wouldn't they just destroy the
I can't remember. My head is a mess.
From your description, I suspect you were dealing with a Devorator.
Devorator?
Oh, your master... your father, I mean. Never talked about it? It was a kind of monster that was active several...
No, I've heard of it. I'm just not sure why you suddenly... Wait, it can't be.
The seal?
My family has served as Marechaussee hunters for many generations. But the title and swordsmanship weren't the only things. My father instructed me to always watch over that seal and maintain it regularly. He said it had been passed down over a truly ancient age, but I neglected that duty after he died. I finally decided to come down and check on it one day.
The Devorator would be a formidable adversary for any mortal being. Even if you lacked the power to completely destroy it, you could easily fall prey to its influence and corruption. In light of this, some Marechaussee hunters chose to seal the Devorator away, in the hopes that a permanent solution...
I heard it has the power to amplify the obsessions and desires in people's hearts, to the point where they overtake you entirely. It would seem I'm not just...
And yet, you were able to retrieve 3 of the 4 keys. If I remember correctly, each was entrusted to a respected and capable hunter.
One of them belonged to my father. The second I stole from a different hunter. And the third... What? I know just how strong you are. It's as clear as day to everyone in Fontaine. I observed you from dusk to dawn, but could never find any opportunity to sneak up on you. The only way I could think to obtain that last key was to lure you here using your hobby, and then...
I won't comment on anything else, but...
Well, I did pour my heart and soul into it. The stories my father used to tell me about the glory of the heroic Marechaussee hunters.
It's more than just a story.
Huh?
You're proud to be a hunter. You're still holding on to that...
I have done so many despicable things.
Then explain the purpose of the evil sorcerer in your story. Isn't he the true antagonist? The one who sought nothing but his own gain, and used the people as pawns to attain it?
But I've already tainted my sword. I no longer have any right...
Wake up, Florian! Do you really think the hunters acted out of a desire for honor and glory? Or to be You do not wield your sword for yourself, but to protect. Do you still not understand? Even after seeing the treasure for yourself?
You're right. I am a Marechaussee.
I would...
I know. That's a charge I won't bother...
Good. Then, come with me, and help me see the script.
Huh? See the script?
Never finished it, huh?
No, I mean, I wrote the script with the sole purpose of luring you all here. There was no...
Then we'll just have to keep writing it. The evil source...
You mean the Devorator?
Is that really so hard? You've already written most of it. Surely you can write an ending.
You aren't afraid your party will fall in...
I know what my friends are capable of, and they're all...
Then, are you...
I don't intend to spoil the fun. Sometimes, protect... Loaded!
They're back!
That took a while.
Ahem! My fellow Marechaussee hunters, please...
Tone it down.
Sorry.
After crossing swords with you and witnessing your courage in battle, I've rediscovered my true self and regained my pride as a...
Oh, do I smell...
I confess, I was brainwashed by the evil sorcerer. He asked me to...
That little... Wait, you're saying all of that wasn't you, but the evil...
That's right. He's adept at manipulating the hearts and minds of the people. I fell under his influence because I did not...
And how are you going to prove that you're a changed man? We're not going...
To be perfectly honest, I only came to my senses after seeing the treasure. The treasure was actually...
The names of all the Marechaussee hunters from ages past and their...
Wait, you already know?
Of course. Don't underestimate a veteran role-player's exploration skills. Oh, wait, I mean...
We just finished reading through the content of the stone tablet.
That tablet recorded the lives of some fascinating people. For example, this Marechaussee hunter called Est. She inherited the responsibilities of the Golden Hunter and passed judgment on many people. But in private, she had a very easygoing personality. Her favorite pastime was singing and...
So, she was just like you.
Oh, you really think so?
Well, when you put it that way, I suppose I also have a few things in working as an executioner. He supposedly used a countless number of tricks to confound his enemies in battle. Oh, if only I could have...
Their lives were all so exciting. You could write so many cool books about their accomplishments. How could they have...
Because they chose to be. To hunt monsters that only appear in the shadows, you must also operate in the dark. To be a Marechaussee hunter is to will...
Then this stone tablet must have been left behind by their...
That's right. Few Marechaussee hunters ever revealed their identity to the public. They always protected the city from the only time they spoke of their accomplishments would be at night, when they gathered with their fellow hunters in front of the bonfire to share stories of the monsters.
So, this tablet was created not so that the hunters would be remembered by the people, but...
No wonder this place was so well hidden.
You regard the stone tablet in solemn silence. The names of your comrades etched onto its surface, the tablet proves that, although a hunter walks a shrouded path, their legacies shall continue to be passed down.
Father, you once told me that I should seek out the treasure if I ever became lost. Thank you, my friend. I implore you, everyone, please give me a chance to make up for all I've done.
Well, I say...
Sounds good to me too. Everyone makes mistakes.
I have no objections, but... Mr. Florian...
When he took over my mind, I gained some insight into his thoughts. Every time I thought of...
Huh? He's afraid of the treasure? But there's nothing here!
What if the secret's a GM?
At first glance, the weapons appear absolutely ordinary. But as you observe them, you notice a faint energy emanating from within. These blades have slain countless monsters. Though it's been a long time since they were used in battle, their edges remain sharp, as if they're simply waiting for the next worthy hunter to carry on.
So basically take these with us, right?
I'll take this weapon, since it used to belong to Est. Maybe it'll find comfort in being held...
Ah, good idea. I'll take Mr. Walter's bow then. From one archer magician to another.
Paimon's gonna pick a cool weapon too!
As you grip your weapons, you can almost feel the will of past hunters coursing through your being. It's a feeling of courage,
Mr. Florian, do you know where to find the evil...
I was able to see his surroundings when our minds were connected. I believe he's currently hiding out at the church in the kingdom. We must be extremely...
Then why don't we explore some more and try to find...
No, we have to strike now. He was greatly weakened when I managed to break out of his control.
I agree with Mr. Florian. We've got to act while we have the advantage.
Yeah, now that we've got a plan, there's no point in waiting.
Yes, that's what's called... Yes, that's...
Alright, you...
Mr. Florian?
Of course.
He had to set up so many scenes today, and now he has to join in for this last part.
Finally, you decide to slay the evil sword. As you walk away, you feel the gaze of the stone tablet at your back. Finally, you arrive at the church Florian described. As you approach, an ominous aura surrounds you. You get the sense.
How strange. This uneasy.
Now, it is time for the final battle.
Let's go!
Florian, wait.
What's wrong?
I think you should wait outside. You've already been corrupted. I don't think it's a good idea for you to be this.
That's exactly why I have to go. Why I should be at... Yes. I intend...
That's too risky. If things get out of hand, I might have to kill you. Do you want...
I understand. The Devorator will have a hard time passing up a chance to enter a body it knows how to control. You won't have to worry about... You're not like me. This is... Consider it a duel to restore my honor.
Then, as a champion duelist, I hereby accept your request. The battle is now upon us. Let the Devorator once again tremble on...
So lifelike!
This foe is not invincible. You hold the treasure. The power to defeat it in your own 2 hands.
The treasure? You mean... The names! It's the Marechaussee Hunters' names!
How are we supposed to...
You forget, Paimon? There's still one skill we saved until the very end.
Hunters fight not for fame, but to aid the people whenever they are summoned.
Walter the Marechaussee Hunter, master of 1,000 tricks, executioner of the Phantom Hunters, I call for aid!
Est, the Marechaussee Hunter, inheritor of Cassiodor's will, judge of the Shadow Hunters. Answer my call!
Petronia, protector of justice and order. The hunter I respect the most. Thank you for saving my friend, the best one I'll ever know. Please, lend us your strength!
We have come to answer your summons. And so, the monsters were eradicated, and peace soon returned to the capital. Some remembered the names of the heroes who saved their kingdom, but others simply continued their lives none the wiser. Such is the story of the Marechaussee Hunters. They pursue the phantoms in the darkness, and they will always protect the city and those within it, even should all memory of their accomplishment.
I'm assuming we've finally reached the end of the...
Yes, you've reached one of the better endings.
It's a pretty solid story overall. I thought it was just an ordinary adventure at first, but the further we got into it, that final battle especially...
Oh, right, yeah.
That's a really good point. I never expected the weapons we picked up from that vault would have that kind of effect.
Yeah, mine nearly scared the daylights out of me when it started glowing. I took a good look at. Oh, we should probably give these props back, right?
Did you have a good time?
Of course. Let me know if enough.
Sure, no problem.
Then I'll head back for now. I think I need some time to fully Once Mr. Florian is awake, please pass on my regards to him.
You're right. He's had a lot to deal with.
Well, see you all some other time.
Okay, so, can I ask now?
I think it should be fine.
What in the world?
So you saw through all of that?
That time in the cave when you told us to close our eyes, it'd be weirder if we didn't notice anything.
I was dying of curiosity the entire time. I mean, you did a pretty bang-up job of pretending nothing had gone wrong. Farina actually looked like she thought all of it was planned.
Guess none of us wanted to be the one to break the illusion.
What are you all talking about?
Oh, wait. Don't tell me Paimon never... Oh, this is all my fault. It's not too late to cover your ears. Here, Paimon.
Bit late for that.
You're saying everything that happened back there wasn't...
It's probably more accurate to say this was never a real scripted story to begin.
What?
So loud.
Hey, you! Get up right now and explain yourself!
No shaking, please!
Did Paimon just hear that right? You guys made up that whole last... It's not nice to lie to people, but Paimon's gotta admit, that was a really good story, Florian.
Yeah, it was like watching a magician improvise a spectacular magic trick.
If Paimon knew something was wrong with that vault, she would have floated straight in the opposite direction.
Everything was under control.
As if you've ever described a situation as being out of control. I'm pretty sure any situation you consider to be...
Guess I'm just used to it.
You must run into a lot of unexpected situations then. That explains why you're so good at coming up with things on the...
As for you, Florian...
I know there's no excuse for what I did. I'll turn myself into the guards at once, confess...
I would say you've already suffered more than enough.
What?
You may have been blinded by fame and fortune in the beginning, but your actions during the final battle had proven you to be... You'll be far more used to the city above ground than below.
But...
Of course, you'll still need to take the keys and pay a personal visit to the 2 hunters you wronged. Prepare to accept any terms they give you as well.
Yes.
As far as I'm concerned, though, your showing in the duel was enough to prove...
Then I'll do exactly as you... Thank you so much, everyone. I'll do my best to prove myself worthy of... Until we meet again, everyone.
Speaking of Marachose hunters, what should...
Leave it be.
Are you sure? We could show it to people, make it so that the hunt...
No. Every name on that... I am no exception. My identity as a Marachose hunter is not something I need people to remember.
That's certainly very different from the path of a magician.
Wait! Paimon just remembered something. If there were no special effects involved, why did our weapons begin to glow during the...
That's because the Marachose hunters of ages past would often imbue their weapons with special enchantments to suppress the monsters. Whenever a monster was nearby...
Oh, so that's why they had an effect on that guy near the end. I really thought the summons were doing all the work.
Well, I'm sure the summons were a part of it too.
Oh? How so?
This particular Devorator probably hailed from the same era as the hunters we saw in the room. The names you recited all belonged to the bravest hunters. Countless monsters fell to their blades. That's likely why the Devorator visibly reacted when you said them out.
So the names held the power all...
Navia?
Huh? Oh, I meant what I said.
I really appreciated those words.
All right. Don't, anyway, let's not talk about that anymore. I'm going to go on ahead. Don't...
She ran off!
I should probably head back as well. This story was truly incredible. I might have to spend the whole night telling my siblings all about it. Goodbye.
Traveler, should your name and deeds be forgotten, what do you think the significance of your...
I suppose the significance would be the journey itself and the world we helped create. There's still value in the time I shared with everyone here, in the things we were able to accomplish, even if no one remembers them.
A great answer. I'll remember it. Me? The Marechaussee Hunter says perhaps her answer lies in her silence. An unspoken vow.
Ad Astra. Thank you for Ad Astra.
Where's my...
anything you like? I see everything!
Be still.
Here we go! Our bond is strong!
Yes. Very nice. I have to stifle a smile every time I remember the look on my retainers' faces when I informed them of my plans today. Panic-stricken, but unable to muster the courage to say anything in opposition. Yes, this was a fine idea.
Sid.